Tonight on 7 News.
Hello world, I'm John Laws.
The final word from the King of Talk, Sydney's stirring tribute to John Laws.
I won't be bullied, a Liberal MP's fiery reaction to death threats from Nazis.
Relief for the family of a young Sydney tradie, his killer jailed for a deadly road rage attack at Blackett.
Exclusive, the Aussie-made mini subs that could soon be protecting our coast. They're tiny, lethal and cheap.
Happy hour on the Metro, bringing pubs back to life, but the southwest has a painful wait.
And England's batting ace jets into Australia determined to ruin our summer.
Live from Sydney, 7 News with Angela Cox and Mark Ferguson.
Good evening. He was as Sydney as the Harbour Bridge and the Opera House. Generations grew up with him, and the mere mention of his name could terrify politicians and give hope to battlers.
Radio was home for John Laws. His listeners were like family. So tonight it's impossible to measure the grief being felt for a man who was admired by so many. The 90-year-old passing away surrounded by loved ones.
Hello world, I'm John Laws.
For generations,
Hello world, I'm John Laws.
he ruled the radio world behind a golden microphone.
What's on your mind, Australia?
An unmistakable voice that carried through 7 decades from the corridors of power.
An iconic Australian. His voice resonated throughout our nation.
To the everyday Aussie.
And you're a real hero around this area, and I'm getting a bit emotional.
He was compulsory listening.
We looked up to him as the benchmark. He was the best. People would wait for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, just to talk to him.
I'm going to miss you. You're breaking my heart.
I love doing what I do. I love the callers. I love I didn't love them all.
You happen to be one of them, you clown.
Geez, you're an ugly bastard. You really are. No wonder you never made it on TV, I'm telling you.
You're a jerk. You're a crumb.
Born Richard John St Clair Laws, he survived 2 bouts of polio, his first radio job as a teenager in Bendigo, a rebel DJ playing the new rock and roll, before helping pioneer the new talkback radio.
Yes, it is. Speak up.
Australia's original shock jock, and in the 80s and 90s on Radio 2GB and then 2UE, the Golden Tonsils, the influencer.
A lot of Australians would like to talk to the Prime Minister. Here's your opportunity. Hello.
Good morning, John. I've spoken to 9 Prime Ministers.
No, 16.
16 Prime Ministers. I didn't know we'd had that many.
A real insight into the Australian character, both in our cities, but also importantly in the bush.
Former PM John Howard today called him a dominating presence. It was a pleasurable as well as a combative experience to be interviewed by John. Praise too from Paul Keating. It was those long interviews which let the public into the wider and deeper national issues.
One of his great attributes is he listened to your answer. And if you screwed up your answer, he'd nail you. He was very, very clever at it. I remember Paul Keating said that if you can convince John Laws, you can convince Australia.
A starring style that paved the way.
He used to take pot shots at me and call me a copyist. Well, when you've watched a master at his craft at work, you'd be boneheaded not to, in some way, try and replicate what you'd learned from him.
A great mentor, because when I first started in radio, I was pushing buttons for his ad breaks.
Oh, yeah,
when I was like 16 years old in Townsville.
Yeah.
And we ended up being mates with him. We'd have dinner or we'd have lunch.
Former radio rival ex-broadcaster Alan Jones saying there was always competitive tension but never animosity.
Congratulations on a remarkable contribution. Your impact on Australia is deeper than your voice.
He was loyal to a fault and very supportive of all the staff. They all loved him. We called him the King, and he really was the King.
Former neighbour Russell Crowe saying he was deeply saddened, but that Laws led a magnificent life of achievement and adventure, bringing that velvet voice to countless ad campaigns.
You know what I mean? Valvoline. This man is a dentist, so we can't show you his face on television.
Author, songwriter and singer.
It's just my funny way of laughing.
On television, new faces, Beauty and the Beast, even Skippy, panellist, host.
Good evening and welcome to our program.
Making his name and his fortune, at one point owning 38 vehicles, one of the highest paid radio stars in the world.
You mean, am I worth it? I don't think so, no.
stepping away from 2UE in 2007.
And probably the last time I'm going to say hello, I'm John Laws.
But no, it wasn't. The golden microphone switched back on 4 years later at 2SM, where he stayed until last November.
My day has come.
It was a career with plenty of controversies.
I want to know why you listen. You're mentally unstable, Norman.
In the late 90s, the Cash for Comments scandal, accused of taking payments for praising products.
Yeah, what a lot of bull that was. I simply was getting paid for what I was doing.
With him through the ups and downs for 44 years, wife Caroline.
I thought he was a frightfully romantic figure.
He called her the princess. They met at 14.
I was madly in love with Caroline when I was 16. Desperately in love with her.
But it would be another 20 years before they met again and married, his third wife and soulmate. Her death from cancer in 2020, devastating. In June, his last radio interview.
How has retirement treated you?
It's a pain in the ass.
Is it really?
I hate it.
A year after signing off.
I say goodbye. There you go. It's been a terrifically good life.
With family by his side, John Laws passed away yesterday, aged 90.
Live now to Paul Kadak. Paul, the Premier has offered his family a state funeral.
Angela, seen as fitting recognition of the veteran broadcaster's 71-year career. And tonight, 7 News can confirm his family has accepted that offer, so there will be a state funeral or memorial service for John Laws, with the details on where and when to be finalised.
Paul Kadak by the Harbour, thank you. 2 of our female politicians have revealed they've been subjected to death threats following the shocking neo-Nazi rally held outside State Parliament.
The Premier is now vowing to strengthen hate speech laws even further as the blame game over who approved the rally intensifies.
Dressed in black, standing shoulder to shoulder, spreading hate on the steps of State Parliament. But as Kelly Sloan and Allegra Spender stood up to criticise the rally, sympathisers of the neo-Nazi group stooped even lower, targeting both online with threats of death and violence.
There were multiple threats. There were dozens of abusive messages. It was a typical Twitter pile-on.
The group's leader even encouraged members to rhetorically rape the federal member for Wentworth, Allegra Spender.
It was pretty shocking and not something you ever want to hear. Let's remind ourselves who these people are. They are extremists.
Vaucluse MP Kelly Sloan has now deactivated her X account. Both politicians handing evidence of the online vitriol to police.
I will not be intimidated by this group or by people who support them.
It's now been revealed Deputy Commissioner Peter Thurtell was made aware of the planned protest, but the Commissioner and the government weren't briefed.
It is a stuff-up. The Premier, the Police Minister and the Police Commissioner need to explain who's stuffed up.
With the protest application submitted by the White Australia Group over a week ago, even proposing what the banner would say.
Already under fire for not knowing about Saturday's rally, the Premier is now doubling down, confirming new laws will be introduced to outlaw Nazi mottos and phrases, strengthening hate speech laws.
We need to draw bigger, bolder, bright lines between hate speech and free speech.
With the Police Commissioner vowing to fight any further neo-Nazi protest applications in the Supreme Court. Taylor Aiken, 7 News.
A driver who killed a man in a shocking road rage attack in Sydney's West will spend up to 16 years behind bars. Bradley Wilkinson deliberately held Reese Harding against the outside of his ute, then accelerated, dragging the young landscaper 50 metres along the road.
The Harding family was anxious, expecting to leave defeated. They didn't.
He's got 16 years. I'm just so happy.
If I could have stood up in the court and did a happy dance, you would have seen it.
16 years for a few minutes of madness. Reese Harding killed during a road rage attack. The other driver was Bradley Wilkinson. The offender was running late for work and was overtaking other cars near Mount Druitt in June last year. He refused to let Reese merge and came to a complete stop in the middle of the road.
He was inviting the confrontation with Mr. Harding.
When Reese approached Wilkinson's ute to ask what he was doing, the offender grabbed him and dragged him 55 metres along the road. Reece went under the wheel, was crushed and died.
The message must be sent loud and clear that the use of motor vehicles as weapons will not be tolerated.
As a boxer, Reece could have used his fists as weapons, but never did outside the ring.
And thank you to everyone that came out.
A promise he made to his parents.
Bradley Wilkinson listened for an hour as the judge went through all the details of his offending that day. When the sentence was handed down, he bowed and shook his head.
He must serve at least 12 years before he can be released.
We're left without a brother, a friend, a son, a family member, and all we've got is a photo to reflect on.
Leonie Ryan, 7 News.
Fire has torn through a home in Sydney's eastern suburbs, a resident fleeing the flames. Sam Payne joins us from La Perouse. Sam, it was an intense blaze.
It was, Mark, and thankfully that man was able to escape the property before it was completely engulfed by flames. Now, all residents could do here on Gurrawal Avenue just after midday was watch as the flames tore through the property. Fire crews have been here for hours, firstly to put that blaze out and then to put spot fires out after. And then hazmat crews have now arrived. That blue spray you can see over the side of the house is to stop asbestos from seeping into the air. That's essentially a sealant. Now, that man inside the home, believed to be aged in his 40s, is safe. The fire is being treated as not suspicious. Mark?
Sam Payne, thank you. Many Australian households are bracing for hip pocket pain right in time for Christmas. The lights on the latest round of energy bill relief are about to go out. It's triggering new calls for the federal government to keep the rebate alive.
The household energy rebate was designed to drain some of the power out of inflation. After 2.5 years and with inflation now lower, the government's thinking about pulling the plug.
Well, I've said that the rebates won't be a permanent feature.
The $300 a year rebate, paid quarterly to every household and small business, was introduced as a cost of living measure in July 2023 and extended for 6 months just before this year's May election.
At some point, those rebates have got to be unwound.
Separate state rebates of up to $1,000 a year have been withdrawn in recent months, partly fueling inflation's recent rise.
We're also working on making sure that the budget's got into shape. So it's a matter of getting that balance right.
The Coalition opposed the rebate initially.
It's a total swindle. It's a band-aid on an amputated leg.
But the Liberals and Nationals supported this year's extension to avoid election heat. And if the government decided to extend it again?
I think that you'll get to a position where you'll be politically jammed into supporting them.
An announcement will be made in next month's mid-year budget update, the MyEFO. Senior sources say the current thinking is to let the rebate lapse, but emphasise the Cabinet is yet to make a final decision. For the time being,
the rebates that are in place are the ones that are in place.
And after next month, they might not be.
Thanks very much.
Mark Riley, 7 News.
Former Labor Party kingmaker Graham Richardson will be laid to rest at a state funeral. The 76-year-old, who was a key player in the ALP in the 80s and 90s, died on Saturday following a long battle with cancer. The Prime Minister says Mr Richardson's widow Amanda has accepted the offer of a public send-off. More details are expected later this week. A setback for the southwest tonight, with completion of the metro extension to Bankstown now likely late next year. In a further blow, the existing line will shut 6 times between now and Christmas for testing. But not everyone's complaining.
Tapping off at Sydenham and tapping in to the pub.
Thousands of passengers are pouring off the new metro onto the Inner West Ale Trail.
A major boost for breweries, now the toast of the town.
We've had people come in for lunch in Chatswood and then Merrickville for a beer.
Since Metro arrived at Sydenham, we can reveal there's been a 4-fold increase in passengers getting off at the station on weekday evenings and more than double the passengers on weekends.
It's a welcome boost to these businesses. It's a huge change for our city.
It's also a major bottleneck. Many of those passengers end up here waiting for a pink bus to Bankstown. As for when the delayed line extension to Bankstown will open, the government still won't give a date, narrowing the window today to the second half of next year.
we're doing everything we possibly can to bring that date forward.
High-speed testing officially kicking off. 75% of the rail conversion is complete. But a warning, before it gets better, it will get worse.
We will be closing parts of the metro line 6 times between now and Christmas.
The M1 line will be closed on the 22nd and 23rd of November and the 27th to the 30th of December.
Today's milestone should have been about passenger services, not you'll have to wait another 12 months.
Serena Andaloro, 7 News.
A second typhoon in less than a week has wiped out parts of the Philippines, forcing more than 1.5 million people to flee their fragile homes, many now sheltering in churches and sports centres. The superstorm hit the country's northeast coast last night, bringing flash flooding and winds of more than 230 kilometres an hour. 2 people have died.
So the Philippines for the last 3 years has been ranked the most disaster-prone country in the world.
Just last week, another typhoon killed 224 people in the centre of the country.
A drone submarine designed and built in Australia that can travel for months and carry explosives is set to transform our nation's defences.
7 News has exclusive pictures of the new mini-sub in final testing at a secret location.
They're just 8 metres long but can travel to 2,000 kilometres. The Speartooth, the latest innovation to emerge from the depths of Australia's defence technology industry.
So we've spent 4 years developing a very stealthy, very reliable long-range underwater truck.
Seen here in final testing, this truck has no driver, no crew. They can be deployed for months at a time, carrying everything from drones, explosives, surveillance electronics.
We've got to know what's in our waters, Chris. It's really important that we understand who is in our waters and why.
Australia has taken a world-leading role in autonomous subs, the bigger Ghost Shark already commissioned. And with the AUKUS subs not due for years, makers C2 Robotics say Speartooth is ready to go at a fraction of the cost, $1 million each.
So we can potentially have hundreds of these assets in the water.
They could even recreate a maritime version of Ukraine's drone swarm attack on Russia's air bases in June. The Speartooth allegedly able to electronically disguise itself as a Chinese sub. From defence company Thales Australia,
I can't talk too much about it.
They're near undetectable with composite materials and Tesla-type batteries.
The first units of Speartooth have already started selling overseas, and Australia's Defence Department is expected to follow suit. But this isn't just a case study in the future of warfare, it's what's happening worldwide today.
It's not the future, it is the present.
Chris Reason, 7 News.
Time to check the weather now with Angie Asimus. And Angie, it was quite cool out in the breeze today.
It was, Ange. The winds certainly weren't as strong today. That made being outside a little more comfortable. But yes, the sea breeze was still quite cool. Just 14 degrees was the low in the end. A top of 24 in the city, felt more like 20 at the time. It's about the same temperature in the ocean at the moment, and these dolphins were having a great time off Narrabeen on the northern beaches this morning. Just beautiful pictures there. There is a change on the way tomorrow. It'll be a whole lot warmer ahead of a cold front. We'll see hot and gusty conditions filter all the way to the coast, and that has prompted total fire bans for the Greater Hunter and Upper Central West Plains. I'll have more details on that change coming up soon, Mark and Ange.
See you then, Angie. Thank you. A beauty salon up in flames. Next, the hunt for arsonists. This Regent's Park business now a crime scene.
Exclusive inside the new high-tech hub, making Sydney Airport safer and more efficient.
A possible deal to end the longest government shutdown in US history.
A lucky escape for a driver who lost it down a flight of stairs.
And after sport, Australia's AI robot giving scammers a taste of their own medicine. Welcome back. A beauty salon has been firebombed in what police say was a targeted attack in Sydney's west. Arsonists torched the Killarney Clinic in Regent's Park just before midnight. 2 hooded men were seen running from the site before fleeing in a car.
It's just heart-wrenching to see someone try and make something of themselves and to see such a devastating act.
The salon owner says he doesn't know why they were targeted.
Sydney Airport is being powered like never before. A new substation was unveiled today, replacing the old one, dating back 50 years. The new cutting-edge technology will improve reliability and lower the risk of fire with oil-fuelled components phased out.
As we've seen over in the UK, there were many flights that were delayed at Heathrow Airport, all in response to a fire at their substation.
If we don't get the resilience right and the energy supply right, then it affects everyone, across the world, not just at Sydney Airport.
The upgrade is one of several airport improvements being made to keep up with growing passenger numbers.
The US government looks poised to end its record 40-day shutdown, with some senators turning on their own party to vote through a short-term funding measure.
But it could be days before the country's airlines are back in the skies and food stamps are available for the 42 million Americans who rely on them.
At a football game in Maryland, a hostile welcome for the president. But there were cheers in the Senate after a breakthrough, a possible end to the longest government shutdown in American history.
On this vote, the yeas are 60 and the nays are 40.
7 Democrat senators and 1 independent teaming up with Republicans, striking a deal to fund the government until the end of January.
Waiting another week or another month wouldn't deliver a better outcome. It would only mean more harm.
But Democrat leaders are unhappy, accusing their colleagues of caving on their central demand, extending healthcare subsidies.
Premiums will spike by thousands of dollars a month. Millions will lose insurance.
But under the deal, federal workers fired during the shutdown will get their jobs back. Others will get back pay. And funding for food aid programs will flow again. The bill still needs to pass the House and get Donald Trump's signature before it becomes law.
And it looks like we're getting close to the shutdown ending.
Even with a deal, getting air travel back to normal here in the United States won't be quick. It could take up to a week for airlines and airports to respond, meaning more misery for passengers.
Thousands of flights delayed or cancelled again today.
It's just ridiculous.
They need to figure it out and get on with it.
Big queues in the terminal and on the tarmac set to continue. In the United States, Rob Scott, 7 News.
2 senior bosses at the BBC have stepped down over misleading editing of a Donald Trump speech. In the report, he appears to encourage the violent Capitol Hill riot of 2021. But Britain's public broadcaster spliced Trump's words, cutting out his call for a peaceful demonstration.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight.
BBC Director General Tim Davie took responsibility and stepped down, as did the head of news. Trump celebrated on social media, calling them very dishonest people.
One of the world's most active volcanoes spit a molten jet of lava for 5 hours today, while Kilauea put on quite the show. It is contained within Hawaii Volcanoes National Park and doesn't pose a risk to home or infrastructure. It's now stopped erupting. Authorities are watching it closely. More of your top stories ahead on Sydney 7 News. Local shops warned over dodgy Black Friday sales tactics. Tips for shoppers too.
King Charles on the brink of tears as the Royals mark Remembrance Day.
Shock results. The Australian study giving your daily coffee a big tick.
A floating fortune enters the harbour where these million-dollar yachts are headed.
3 centenarians and 1 big party on the bright side.
And ahead in sports, Steve Smith's dodgy toss technique that needs urgent work before the Ashes.
Aussie shoppers are warned to be on their guard during this month's Black Friday sales, with some retailers using less than honest sales tactics.
The Consumer Watchdog claims it knows all the dodgy tricks in the book, and this year they won't fly.
Sales season is already here, and retailers want their share of the pre-Christmas frenzy.
You're not necessarily getting the best deal, but that's what they do. They're marketing.
The ACCC is conducting a Black Friday sales sweep online and in stores, hunting down misleading or deceptive advertising.
Business will go 30% off 2 days only, and then 2 days later they're like, sale extended, and it's like,
it was always going to be extended.
The watchdog is also looking for misleading fine print, such as member-only offers and deceptive labels about the pre-sale price.
We don't want to see consumers tricked into thinking they're getting a big discount.
The tactics can lead to $19,000 fines.
Some of the retailers who paid penalties last time were Michael Hill Jewellers, My House and Hair House Warehouse. We will take further enforcement action, if appropriate, this year.
The Consumer Watchdog also warns buyers to beware, to monitor prices well before the sales to know when bargains are genuine.
Yeah, there's sales throughout the whole year. Black Friday doesn't need to be like the be-all and end-all.
Phoebe Worthley, 7 News.
An emotional King Charles has led Britain's Remembrance Sunday service, his eyes welling up during the 2 minutes of silence. The royal family trying to show a united front while paying tribute to fallen soldiers.
In the heart of London, under the Cenotaph shadow, the King in uniform stood in solemn reflection. Leading his nation in silence, the Commander-in-Chief composed yet visibly moved. Saluting, laying his wreath, a tribute to those who gave their lives for Britain. His fourth remembrance as monarch, and perhaps the most emotional yet. Above, the Queen and Princess of Wales watched on, shoulder to shoulder, in black. Kate wearing Diana's pearl drop earrings, Camilla back on the balcony after illness last year. The pair sharing quiet words before Prince William paid his respects alongside political leaders, past and present. Then came the march, led by World War II heroes in wheelchairs.
To even talk about it now brings a tear in the eye.
In a year marked by strain and scrutiny within the royal family, this service offers perspective for the King, a day defined not by headlines but by duty and awareness of the wars still being fought beyond Britain's borders.
We have to remember everyone that served and still serving.
In London, Annie Puller, 7 News.
And Princess Anne has laid a wreath in Melbourne for the 2 police officers shot dead in Victoria by fugitive Desi Freeman. On the 3rd day of her Australian tour, the Princess Royal also inspected the Quarter Guard at Simpson Barracks. Her motorcade stopped traffic on the major Tullamarine motorway. The Princess will head to Brisbane tomorrow.
A surprise link between coffee and heart health next. How many cups to keep your heartbeat in check?
The new message from the RBA giving fresh hope to mortgage holders.
A wild ride down a set of stairs and a tale of survival.
And soon in sport, Oscar Piastri stumbles again and title time is running out fast.
Hello. Underperforming retail and business divisions saw ANZ's profit dip 10% to $5.9 billion for the year. Governance issues that cost the bank $240 million in fines also saw several execs lose millions in bonuses. Former CEO Shane Elliott alone missing out on $13.5 million. The RBA Deputy Governor today said there are still worlds you could imagine where rates are cut. Not exactly compelling, but perhaps a glimmer of hope there for mortgage holders desperate for rate relief. Cost of living pressures are being blamed for a 21% drop in profit for Craveable Brands, which owns hundreds of well-known fast food chicken stores around the country. A potential deal to end the record US government shutdown boosted our market today. Lithium and tech stocks were in demand. The Aussie dollar buying 65 US cents.
Aussie researchers have spilled the beans on coffee, revealing a daily cuppa can protect against heart failure and stroke.
Doctors often advise against caffeine, but after reading this study, they're changing their tune.
It's the health advice many will welcome.
I ordered one as soon as I got here to the cafe. A nice big mug.
New research shows a morning coffee may actually be doing more than just waking you up. A University of Adelaide study tracked patients with an irregular heartbeat to see how they reacted to a daily cuppa.
We've always assumed as doctors that coffee worsens an irregular heartbeat.
and in fact have always recommended to patients that they reduce or abstain from coffee.
But now they've been given the all clear. In a first-of-its-kind trial, 200 patients were split into two groups. Half drank a daily coffee, the others went without.
There's been no previous trial of coffee in AF, and to our knowledge, this is the longest trial of coffee in any health condition whatsoever.
Brian Portlock was in the caffeinated group.
They rang me later and said, the good news is you're one of the people we want to keep drinking coffee.
He was diagnosed with atrial fibrillation back in 2021 and admits while it was scary, he's thankful it hasn't disrupted his daily routine.
Now I can keep on having that nice big cup of coffee every day.
But how much is too much? Chris says that will need to be uncovered in future studies. For now, it's safe to say 1 coffee a day should keep the doctor away.
And with 3/4 of Australians enjoying the beverage every day, there's more research to be done.
Now we should determine which ingredient in coffee is beneficial and whether this applies to other heart conditions as well.
Madison Stanley, 7 News.
A scary moment in Brazil when a driver lost control, his car flying off the road and down a set of stairs. Despite the vehicle flipping onto its roof at the bottom, the driver walked away with minor injuries. It's believed they suffered a medical episode. Locals say it is incredible no one was using the stairs at the time.
A taste of luxury sailed into Sydney Harbour today. 2 motor yachts worth over $1 million each ahead of the International On-Water Boat Show. These models are brand new, one of them being unveiled at the show, which starts on Thursday. A purpose-built marina is being set up at Cockle Bay to showcase more than 150 vessels.
Stopping scammers in their tracks. Still to come, the AI robot tricking the crooks and turning the tables. Wait till you hear their response.
And the first new Hilux in a decade confirmed. Diesel, electric or hydrogen powered. Don't miss those stories soon on 7 News. Now, Tom is back with sport, and Tom, a stark warning for England.
Yeah, that's right. Very promising signs, guys. Good evening. Mitch Starc showed he's ready to spearhead our attack in the absence of Pat Cummins. All the Ashes news is next, including Jake Weatherald's missed opportunity as Joe Root hits the Wild West looking to break his Aussie duck. And the league legend who fears Payne Haas has played his last game in the Code. Mitchell Starc hit the ground running, Josh Hazlewood went wicketless and Jake Weatherald missed out on day 1 of the final Sheffield Shield hit-out for our Ashes stars and hopefuls. Starc snared 4 wickets for the Blues against Victoria at the SCG.
Making the Shield great again. Steve Smith leads a Blues side with more than 15,000 test runs and 1,200 test wickets onto the SCG. The skipper's toss technique needs urgent remedial work before Perth, but Mitchell Starc's clearly good to go.
Oh, what a ball from Starc.
Starc and Nathan Lyon struck early against Victoria, the 35-year-old left-armer claiming 4 of the 7 wickets to fall on day 1. Josh Hazlewood went wicketless, Lyon snaring his second just before stumps, century maker Peter Hanscom on 104. The Vics finishing at 7 for 340.
Working on a few things, getting that rhythm back. Now it's just getting the miles in the legs and having the engine turned over spell after spell.
In Hobart, Jake Weatherald made 23 for Tassie against South Australia. Bo Webster also missing out with just 13. Whether Marnus Labuschagne opens or bats 3 in the first test likely depends on whether selectors opt to blood Weatherald.
It's all about team balance. It's about there's more at play than just my position. It's like a trick question. Would you like to open? I'll bat wherever they tell me to bat.
All the Bazballers are now in Perth. The top 2 in the Test batting rankings, Harry Brook and Joe Root, among the last to arrive. At 34, this might be Root's last chance to score an Ashes century in Australia.
I don't think this tour's about me. I think it's about us as a team. It's a very exciting tour to be involved in.
What are you expecting from the Aussie crowd?
I'm sure it'll be a great atmosphere.
Straight into the nets today, joined by Jofra Archer with that unmistakable gold chain. England's elusive speed demon also rolled the arm over. Nick Markham, 7 News.
Ash Gardner led from the front in her first outing as Sixers captain. The all-rounder took 5 wickets in a 10-wicket hiding of the Scorchers at the Wacker. 16-year-old Kiva Bray ended Perth's innings with a screamer.
You beauty! Kiva Bray says, I can't get in the game, so I better take a specky.
Elise Perry and number one draft pick Sophia Dunkley raced to the target with more than 7 overs to spare. Dunkley clubbed 5 sixes on her way to 61.
There's some serious match winners out there, so making sure that we were really clear and clinical, and it was a great performance to start us off.
The Hurricanes defeated the Thunder by 6 wickets, chasing down 182 with 3 balls to spare. The future of Payne Haas shapes as the biggest storyline of the NRL off-season, with R360 offering up to $3 million per season and the threat of 10-year bans for defectors. There's a chance the Pacific Championships final was the champion prop's last game in the code. Broncos legend Petro Civoniceva says the cash on offer from the Rebel series could be too big to ignore.
Professional rugby league is such a short-term career. I think the average is 33 games. So certainly when you get offers thrown around of that scale, you definitely have to consider it.
Civoniceva was in Cairns today, showing off Brisbane's men's and women's premiership trophies. The AFL is copying plenty of criticism after introducing a new wildcard round. Expanding finals to 10 teams, it means 7th will play 10th and 8th will play 9th in knockout games.
I don't think it rewards mediocrity. What it does is provide opportunities and more games of consequence. And, fans love finals and they love games of consequence.
Star Swans recruit Charlie Curnow has officially put the Blues behind him, completing his first day of pre-season in red and white. With almost everything going against him, the frustration keeps building for Oscar Piastri. A contentious time penalty saw him finish 5th at the Brazilian Grand Prix, while McLaren teammate Lando Norris won again to close in on the world title.
A forced smile and handshake from Oscar Piastri to Lando Norris, almost acceptance the F1 title might no longer be in reach.
I think in terms of championship, there's no point thinking about it very much.
Needing almost everything to go right in Sao Paulo,
Piastri locks up, goes for it, and he makes contact with Antonelli.
his race was effectively ruined 6 laps in, colliding with Kimi Antonelli, who then wiped out Charles Leclerc.
Had a very clear opportunity, I went for it. There was obviously a bit of a lock-up into the corner, but that was because I could see Kimi was not going to give me any space. I can't disappear.
Stewards disagreed. Running second, Piastri copped a 10-second time penalty, a harsh call for many.
For me, it's not, the blame is not all on us, Oscar. Yes, it was optimistic.
5th place for Piastri, now without a podium finish since September.
The penalty was one thing, but I don't think the pace was at a level that I wanted it to be.
Lando Norris was never challenged from pole. Back-to-back wins, 24 points clear of Piastri, life's easy at the top.
Just ignore everyone that talks crap about you. Just focus on yourself.
Starting in pit lane, Mad Max charged to a miraculous 3rd behind Antonelli. 49 points off Norris with 3 rounds to go, but not in the fight.
Let's not use that word at the moment because it's too many points.
James Manton, 7 News.
Premier League champions Liverpool fumed over a controversial disallowed goal in their heavyweight battle with Manchester City. The Reds look to have cancelled out Erling Haaland's opener, but Virgil van Dijk's leaders Arsenal, Liverpool are 8 points back in 8th position. At the ATP Finals in Turin, Alex de Minaur led Carlos Alcaraz 5-3 in a first-set tiebreaker, but let it slip. King Carlos roared back to win in straight sets.
Oh, again, what a point from both.
De Minaur now needs to win his remaining 2 group matches to reach the semi-finals. Confident he can do it. He's got Lorenzo Musetti from Italy and Taylor Fritz from the US. No Novak Djokovic was just good news. So
good news.
Always helps.
The coast is clear.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom. Our major banks and telcos are using a weapon against scammers, and it's giving fraudsters a taste of their own medicine.
AI-powered chatbots are now pretending to be the perfect victim, keeping the crooks hanging on the line.
Hello, this is a call from Amazon's fraud department. My name is Dayton. How are you today?
This scammer is fishing for his next victim, but he's the one about to be conned.
Hi, I'm doing okay, thanks. Sorry, where are you calling from again?
That is an AI bot.
So we deploy these armies of bots. They really interact with the scammers, pretending to be the perfect victim bots, as we call them.
They intercept suspect calls to collect scammers' data and keep them talking.
Every single minute, that a bot is engaging a scammer is essentially a minute where these scammers are not placing thousands of calls.
And scammers don't like being tricked.
I do believe that you are bloody motherfucker sister. Is it so, sir? Are you the mother? Because you're a motherfucker, you bloody Australian.
Oh dear, that sounds a bit intense.
Australians have lost more than $259 million to scams this year, the most common investment, then phishing, with some criminals behind them pretending to be from your bank.
95% of all the losses that we see targeting businesses are either a bank impersonation scam or business email compromise.
So how do we stop these scammers?
I wish I knew.
At least now we can waste their time.
Shut up! Give me your WhatsApp number.
Georgia Holland, 7 News.
Car giant Toyota is steering one of Australia's most popular vehicles into a new era. The next generation Hilux has been unveiled with the biggest change under the bonnet. The manufacturer says the updated ute will be greener, ditching petrol, and for the first time offering battery electric and hydrogen powered models. The diesel variant will be in showrooms next month.
308 reasons to celebrate. On the bright side, next, Joan, Grace and John show us why they are the life of the party.
And a warmer day ahead tomorrow. Total fire bans in place for parts of New South Wales. All the details next.
The Windsor Files exposed. Never before heard secrets and scandals revealed by one of the world's most respected royal insiders. Plus, live to the red carpet in London with the stars of Wicked. And the Sunrise Prize Factory is back. Be watching to win. Start with Sunrise.
On 7 News Sydney, millions living with endless jaw pain, headaches or tight muscles. The new research pointing to a surprising culprit and the new therapies giving people their lives back. How you can break the pain cycle. 7 News tomorrow.
Good evening. Extreme fire danger ahead in the Greater Hunter and Upper Central West Plains tomorrow. It's forecast to be very hot and windy. Quite a shift compared with today. Sydney reached a top of 24 degrees. That's average. However, it did feel a fair bit cooler, taking wind chill into account. And it was a cool start as well, down to 5 degrees this morning at Katoomba, 11 at Parramatta. Tops generally reached the mid to high 20s. Picking up the satellite image, high pressure is dominating our weather at the moment. That's the reason it's all been quite settled today. But we are watching another approaching cold front. That front will brush the states south first and then track up the coast as a southerly change tomorrow. So ahead of that system, we'll see that warm air filter all the way to the coast, prompting that extreme fire danger risk north of Sydney. Around the capitals, Brisbane, a passing shower, 25 degrees on the way. That wet weather starting to develop in Canberra, 18 degrees forecast. Some unsettled conditions also through Hobart, Melbourne and into Adelaide. Perth stands out with blue sky, 34 degrees. It's a grey one for Darwin though, 33 the top. Back home, scattered showers and a gusty storm in the southeast of the state. That's due to the passage of that cold front. Then that unsettled weather will start to extend up towards central and northern parts of the coast. Cold air mass in that front's wake, so we will start to see some snow showers on alpine ranges above 1,100 metres. It'll be a warm day in Sydney. Ahead of that change, Bondi aiming for 26 degrees, 28 for Hornsby, 29 for Penrith, and sunny until the late change brings some gusty showers and some winds. Around the water tomorrow, north to northwesterly winds to about 20 knots at first. They'll then shift southerly to 30 knots by evening on a southerly 1.5 metre swell. For the city centre tomorrow, not an overly warm start, 15 degrees the low, but it will heat up to 28. A sunny morning until that late gusty change brings some showers. Once the cold front passes, a cold air mass will be left in its wake. So a cooler start Wednesday morning, 11 degrees in the city, 8 in our west. Then really quite a warm one for Thursday, up to 33 degrees in our west, before we see some showers redevelop on Friday and they will extend into the weekend. Nothing too heavy though. A very warm one on the way tomorrow, Mark and Ange.
Very manageable.
We'll be right.
Thank you, Angie. Now here's Amy Clements with The Bright Side.
Tonight, 3 incredible people, countless stories and enough birthdays to fill a few centuries. What do you get when you put 3 centenarians at one table? Royalty. At least that's how it looked at Uniting Lindsay Gardens, where these 3 celebrated a combined 308 years of life.
What's it like to share your birthday with these 2 lovely ladies?
They're older than me.
Joan Thomas, 102, was a World War II Red Cross nurse and first on the dance floor.
She's a very good mother and grandmother.
While Grace, 106, has done it all. CWA, Meals on Wheels, she even met the Queen Mother.
I'm not one for publicity.
And then there's John Ritchie, 100, a former Spitfire pilot and architect. He swears the secret to life is simple: buy property and marry well.
Tell me about the moment you first saw your wife.
I went to a friend's 21st birthday. We loved each other, I think, from the beginning.
He thrives in this sort of party atmosphere.
More than happy to share a dance. All 3 showing us that age never stops a good party.
And some pretty good advice, and they love a dance.
Very happy birthday.
That is 7 News for this Monday. We will have updates for you throughout the evening.
From all the team, I hope you have a great night.
Good night.